Hello, vinyl community. Hi, how you're all doing? Hope you're doing well. Um, yeah, this is a very belated response to Richard McCooks' excellent video that he put out about a week or so ago um, regarding 20 greatest hits or what compilations would you take to a desert island. Yeah, I mean, as always from Richard, very original theme, great idea. But as per usual, I'm very, very late to the party. So I have no excuses, Richard. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, I actually thought that I wouldn't be able to do this. And I know I've said that on several of these thread videos before because I've kind of, when I've initially thought about it, I don't always immediately recall what I have in my collection. That's not because I've got a particularly large collection. I just kind of like play them and then file them away. And there's kind of a few that I play in heavy rotation that I always play that I'm very familiar with, and then others that some of which just get played once or twice and then don't get played for maybe years. And unfortunately, compilation albums tend to fall into that category. I really had to sort of go through and think about what compilations I had. In the 90s, I used to collect a lot of compilation albums on CD. But what I thought I'd do is that, for the sake of purism and the vinyl community being just chiefly vinyl, I thought I'd sort of stick to just vinyl records as opposed to compilations on CD or other formats, of which I have quite a lot. And that made the task a little bit more tricky. But again, it's always good to have a bit of a challenge, and to have a think about it. Some honourable mentions are some albums which I definitely would have had in, but obviously my own fault because I've been late to the party. These records have already been showed. So that's Steely Dan's Greatest Hits. I think Rob Walker showed that. Yeah, superb retrospective. Definitely would have included that. Obviously, Kate Bush's whole story is fabulous as well. The only thing that I would have changed on that is not put in the new vocal. Sorry, Richard, I don't particularly like that. I prefer the original version of the 78 debut album. And then also the very best of the Everly Brothers as well, which I was very lucky for Simon to send me this. Always been a huge fan of the Everly Brothers. I think that their harmony, sort of rock and roll, is as good as Crosby, Stills, if not better than Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Beatles, it's up there. Obviously, they hugely influenced the Beatles. So yeah, absolutely seminal compilation. Okay, all the rest of them, some of which may have been shown before. If they have, I apologise about that. Others are sort of maybe slightly spurious compilations, but I did check on Google just to see that they are technically classed as a compilation to fit in with Richard's strict criteria. But anyway, here we go. I'll just breeze through them, and oh fuck it, if they're not right, then hang me. Whatever. Okay, so I'm going to run through them now. So this one is a 1970 Beach Boys compilation, and it's usually the 20 Golden Greats which is shown, which is a fantastic comp with a lot of their singles. This one, though, was my kind of first introduction to the Beach Boys. My mum and dad had a copy of this, and my brother and I used to play this a lot when we were younger, and I absolutely love this record. And there's a lot of deeper cuts on here from particularly their later albums, like How She Boogalooed It, from Wild Honey, which I thought was a great rocker to kick off. Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, which is arguably my favourite Beach Boys song ever, obviously off Pet Sounds. We've got We'll Run Away, Mizzaloo, of course, made famous on the what was it? The Tarantino film, wasn't it? Pulp Fiction. That's it. Whistling, wonderful little a cappella that was on the Smile album, which I know was a bit of a disaster for Brian Wilson. It wasn't, that album wasn't as he intended to, but I think that was a great little track. And then obviously side two, you got a great version of Summertime Blues, the Eddie Cochran song. Annalie the Healer, lovely ballad from Friends, which I think was great. Boogie Woody, instrumental. Decent version of Tell Me Why, the Lennon McCartney song. Louie Louie, or Louie Louie as they sing it, and the Chuck Berry song. And then ending with fantastic, one of my favourite Beach Boys song, Good to My Baby, from I think it was the Beach Boys Party album, was it? Or Today, I'm not altogether too sure. Anyway, but yeah, fabulous compilation album, and great that that it's has so many deep cuts from their studio albums. So yeah, I always really like that. Yeah, I'd if I was going to a desert island, I'd want to take a little bit of kind of disco or dance music to keep things really upbeat. And this is a pretty good compilation. This is the Bee Gees' greatest, obviously all their later hits from sort of 1976 onwards, so well into the kind of disco era here. You've got Jive Talking, Night Fever, Tragedy, Should Be Dancing, Staying Alive. I mean, just that first side is just essential. How Deep Is Your Love, Too Much Heaven, If I Can't Have You, Children of the World, Nights on Broadway, and some release tracks as well. So a little bit of a bonus on there too. Yeah, excellent comp. Okay. Always liked the sort of more maverick kind of folk UK artists. Would love to have taken a Roy Harper compilation. Unfortunately, I don't have one. But another of his contemporaries who I do really, really like as well is Al Stewart. And this is Al Stewart, the early years. So this is basically everything, I think, before Year of the Cat, so sort of pre-75, 76. So there's a gatefold there with all the lyrics. This is a fabulous comp that I picked up for a couple of quid. It's on RCA. Really, really good. Great sort of retrospective. Bedsitter Images is great. Clifton in the Rain, one of my all-time favourites. And then ends up with the epic Love Chronicles, which is just, yeah, Al Stewart at his absolute best, just 15 minutes of just blissful, just fantastic, sort of self-confessional, almost like a diary, I guess, but just brilliant compilation. Yeah. Okay. Another one of my favorite folk artists. I think I've shown this before. This is a great comp of his early material. This is The World of Cat Stevens. So this is a Decca one. It's got tracks from, I think, his first two albums. So you got Here Comes My Wife, Granny, Matthew and Son, I'm Gonna Get Me a Gun, Lovely City, I Love My Dog, First Cut Is the Deepest, Schools Are Out. I mean, every single track on this is just essential early Cat Stevens. Brilliant. Yeah, if I had to get rid of all of his studio albums, then I could just keep one compilation, this would be definitely the one that I'd keep. So yeah, superb. Okay. Never been a huge fan of this band, but I like their early kind of psyche stuff. This is Status Quo, and this is Golden Hour compilation. 60 minutes, so plenty of music. Possibly a little bit too much squashed onto one disc, so the quality isn't particularly great. But the songs are just superb. So this is, I think, mainly their first two the Psych sort of albums and singles. So you've got Pictures of Matchstick Men, Face Without a Soul, Elizabeth Dreams, Ice in the Sun, which is great. Spicks and Specks, great cover of the Barry Beach Boys, the Bee Gees song there, Barry Gibb. Sunny Cellophane Skies, which is just, I think, a fantastic psychedelic song. Sheila, great version of that. Wonderful version of Green Tambourine as well, which I think was the no, it wasn't. I was going to say Tomorrow. It wasn't Tomorrow, was it? I can't remember who did that. I'm sure some of the psych guys out there will tell me that. But yeah, brilliant, brilliant compilation of early Quo before they became sort of R&B and blues. Yeah, and of course, a glam favourite of mine would have to have included this. This is Roxy Music's greatest hits. Yeah, superb. All their best stuff from their first 5 albums, which for me is my favourite period of theirs. So, inner sleeve there with all the albums. Interesting, it shows Viva there, but I don't think there's a track off Viva on this, so which was the live album. I think it came out after Siren, but yeah, Virginia Plain. You've also got some non-album tracks on here, like Pajama Rama, which is superb. Wonderful single. Okay, moving on, because I don't want this video to go on too long. Love Pro Harum, and this is a wonderful Music for Pleasure compilation, Salty Dog, which has, of course, the song Salty Dog on it, but all the big early hits like Homburg. She Wandered Through the Garden Fence off her first album. I love that one. Devil Came from Kansas. Shine On Brightly is great. Conquistador, fantastic. And ending with the superb Pilgrim's Progress, which I absolutely love, from the Salty Dog album. So yeah, superb, sort of symphonic, sort of prog rock there. Okay, and then obviously I wouldn't want to be without some sort of sunshine pop, and this is a Nuggets compilation, which I picked up sort of a couple of years ago. This was a Record Store Day release, but this has a lot of sort of great sort of independent singles from the sort of late 60s. Come to the Sunshine, Harper's Bazaar, Cotton Apple, Cotton Candy, Pat Shannon, The Lovin', yeah, Wounded, The Cookies, which is just sublime. What else we got? Scorpio Red is fantastic. The Holy Mackerel. Come On In, The Association, brilliant. Beverly Hills, Someday Man, The Monkees. Yeah, they're just great, and it's a double album, and there's only 6 songs on a side, so plenty of space there, and it sounds fantastic. Yeah, so very, as it suggests, sunshine, upbeat pop. Okay, speaking with great upbeat pop, I'm actually classing. Richard might disagree with this, but I'm classing this as a comp because these twofer are considered to be compilation albums. So this is a twofer of the first 2 Move albums. So we've got the Move first album and also Shazam. This is just fantastic. I love these albums. Yeah, so obviously you've got Flowers in the Rain, covers all his great early hits. Here we go, Around the Lemon Tree, Weekend, Useless Information, Zing Went the Strings of My Heart, great cover. Fire Brigade is just essential, wonderful. And then obviously the second album, Shazam, a little bit more kind of progressive feel there, longer tracks. Cherry Blossom Clinic, superb. Love that. Okay, sticking with classic compilations again. Richard said the first 7 Moody Blues albums are essential. I wouldn't disagree with that, which is why I love this album so much. This is the Moody Blues. It covers all their best material from those first 7 albums. Question, wonderful. Legend of a Mind, Lovely to See, Never Comes the Day. Tuesday Afternoon, Nights in White Satin, absolutely essential. Okay, I know for sure this has been mentioned on at least a couple of videos. This is All I Have by the Kinks. Sadly, I wish I had more, but I never see their albums. This is the wonderful Pickwick Kinks collection. This is what got me into the Kinks, pretty much. And it's just a fantastic set of all their 60s stuff up to sort of 1970 Lola, I think. So you've got Really Got Me, Dedicated Follow Fashion, All Day and All of the Night, Victoria, Stop Your Sobbing, Dead End Street, See My Friends, Animal Farm, Set Me Free, Where Have All the Good Times Gone. Absolutely love that. Every single track on that is fantastic. Okay, very glad would have had to have included this. I'd love to have taken some Bert Yanch albums, but this sampler will certainly do. I wouldn't say this is the best of all his stuff, but it's a pretty good starting point. So you got Rabbit Run, The Wheel, Go Your Way, My Love, just beautiful, fantastic. Needle of Death from his debut album is just one of the most heart-wrenching songs you'll ever hear in your life. Wishing Well, fantastic. Blackwater Side, of course, which is the instrumental that Jimmy Page possibly borrowed for the Black Mountain side for the first album. Hugely influential and absolutely essential. Okay, would have to include, of course, a bit of Tull, and this is easily their best compilation. This is Living in the Past, but it kind of goes beyond the compilation because it's also got a live side. The live side isn't particularly great. Most people I talked to about this album would agree with me there, but it's got all their non-album singles like Which Is Promise, and then there's Living in the Past itself. Great acoustic songs like Nursey, that don't appear on any other albums, and then obviously the classic tracks from sort of Aqualung, and Benefit and so on. So fantastic album. A little bit of heavy stuff. Probably the ultimate 60s heavy rock album. Or artist, Jimi Hendrix. This is Smash Hits. Sadly, this is a later 80s repress, doesn't have the poster with it. I'd love to get a copy of that sometime. But this is just Purple Haze, Fire, Wind Cries Mary, Hey Joe, Manic Depression, Burning of the Midnight Lamp is fantastic. And then ending with Foxy Lady, superb. Nothing more to be said about that. And then I'd probably want to chill out a bit with some classic jazz and some smoothie, and there's no more sort of smooth than this guy, Nat King Cole. This is a greatest hits, greatest of Nat King Cole, volume 1 and 2, all together in one album, so that's a bonus. Loads and loads of tracks, covers most of his career: Autumn Leaves, For Sentimental Reasons, Stardust, Impossible, Unforgettable, Sweet Lorraine, Nature Boy, which is just incredible, Ramblin' Rose, would have to take that. Another bit of rock and roll, and nobody rocked better than this guy, I guess. Best of Eddie Cochran. This is superb. Come On Everybody, Three Steps to Heaven, Weekend. Yeah, what a opener, first three tracks. Then you got Something Else, Blue Suede Shoes, 20 Flight Rock. Yeah, absolutely essential. Okay, probably my favorite compilation of all time, and one of the first pop albums I ever heard. I featured this in some of my earlier videos. This is the Beatles' Oldies But Goldies. Yeah, for their early to mid 60s output, this is just essential. So you got She Loves You, From Me to You, We Can Work It Out, I Feel Fine, Can't Buy Me Love, Bad Boy, which is great rocker there, which Sonny Williams didn't appear on an album, Day Tripper, Ticket to Ride, probably my favourite song of theirs of all time, and then ending with When I Held Your Hand, song that broke them in America. Fantastic. Okay, just a couple more. Love this. A little bit of smooth stuff. Some of this, some people think this is a bit sappy, but I think he's a brilliant songwriter. This is The Sound of Bread. So David Gates, wonderful. Make It With You, Dismal Day, London Bridge. If, beautiful ballad. Baby, I'ma Want You. Everything I Own, which is one of the greatest paeans to your dad. He wrote that for his father. Yeah, and that really resonates with me in a big way. Diary, Sweet Surrender. Guitar Man is just wonderfully, just sublime. Probably the greatest song he ever wrote. Absolutely wonderful, and incredible production on that as well. And then I have to end with this. I know that James Griffiths showed this, and I've shown this recently, but this just covers so many genres, and for all your kind of the underground, psych, blues, prog, etc., this is just essential. This is Back on the Road. 32 tracks of the very best of progressive underground. Yeah, a lot of UK artists on this as well. Free, Jethro Tull, Living the Past, Focus, Hocus Pocus, which is just amazing. You got the Nice there, obviously Keith Emerson. Northern Sky, Nick Drake, which is the first time I ever heard Nick Drake, is on here. Quicksilver, Messenger Service, Mona. Tomorrow, My White Bicycle. Superb. Soft Machine, 10:30 Returns to the Bedroom, like that. Strange Brew Queen, Silver Machine, epic. Hawkwind track there. Paper Sun, Traffic, Roy Harper, Tom Tiddler's Ground. Yeah, you got Velvet Underground, Bloodwind Pig, which is of course Mick Abrams' band. We left Jethro Tull, and ending with a fantastic Something in the Air, Thunderclap Newman. So yeah, wonderful stuff. Sorry I breezed through that a bit quick, guys. What we're up to, 23 minutes, still quite long. I was hoping to make it as quick as possible, but yeah, thanks again to Richard for putting together yet another great thread. Fabulous that a lot of people have jumped on that. I have been watching and commenting, and there's been some really good stuff shown. My apologies again, Richard, for taking so long to get round to doing this, but hey ho, only so many hours in the day. Hope everybody's doing really well. You have a great week next week, and yeah, see you again soon, guys. Cheers, all the best. Bye bye.